The chains of vows. The screen fades in on the dusty streets of Al Mansoura, a small village nestled between the Nile Delta's green fields and the endless beige of the desert. It is 1998. The call to prayer echoes as 22-year-old Laila Hassan, sharp-eyed and quick-tongued, argues with her father in their modest courtyard. Laila, voice trembling with fury. "You sold me, Baba. Like a goat at the Friday market." Omar Hassan, her father, a once proud cotton merchant now drowning in debt, avoids her gaze. "Omar, it is not selling. It is saving. Karim El Sayed will clear our debts. He is rich. He is." Laila, 43, old enough to be my father, and cruel enough to buy a wife. The camera lingers on Layla's clenched fists, the henna on her palms still fresh from her cousin's wedding the night before. A wedding she now realizes was a distraction. Her mother, Fatma, weeps silently in the corner, powerless. Cut to Karim El Sayed in his marble-floored villa in Cairo. A widower, ruthless in business, rumored to have buried his first wife under mysterious circumstances. He signs the marriage contract with a gold pen, smirking. Karim to his lawyer. "Make sure the mahr is generous. I want no whispers of coercion." But coercion is the air Laila breathes. That night her uncle Tariq, a police captain, arrives with 2 officers. "Tariq, sign Laila, or your father goes to prison for fraud. Your choice." The pen trembles in her hand. She signs. Act 2. The cage 30:00, 80:00. The wedding is a spectacle. 500 guests, fireworks, a Nile cruise. Laila, veiled in gold, is a doll on display. Karim kisses her cheek possessively for the cameras. She does not flinch yet. In Cairo, the villa is a gilded prison. Layla's phone is confiscated. Her university books, she was studying literature, are locked away. Karim's rules are iron. No leaving without his driver. No speaking to men, even servants. Smile in public. Obey in private. But Laila is not broken. She befriend. 2WW. 2 quiet, peaceful, unbroken years. Every morning I still wake before the sun. The first sound I hear is the ocean. The waves steady and soft, like a promise that life keeps going. I make my coffee, step onto the porch, and watch the light spread over the water. Sometimes the world feels too beautiful for the heart I carry. One stitched together from so many small heartbreaks. But it's whole. Finally whole. I tend to my little garden now. The daisies I planted the first spring are blooming again. Wild, white, unapologetic. Brenda calls them my guardians. Ruth still visits every Thursday. We talk about everything and nothing. And Captain, Mr. Percy's dog, spends more time with me than with his owner. He sits by my chair, his head on my knee, as if he understands everything I never say aloud. Life is simple, predictable, peaceful, until the letter came. It arrived on a Tuesday morning, slipped under my door. No stamp, no envelope, just a folded piece of paper. My name written in familiar, uncertain handwriting. Mama. I froze. It had been 2 years since I'd seen that word written for me. My hands trembled as I unfolded the paper. "I know I don't deserve to call you that anymore. But I don't know what else to call you. Marcus is gone. Please don't throw this away. I need to see you. Simone." For a moment I couldn't breathe. The words blurred, smudged with tears I didn't remember letting fall. Marcus. Gone. Gone how? I sat for a long time in silence. The waves crashed. The daisies swayed. And the years between us, the distance, the silence, came rushing back like a tide I couldn't hold back. By evening, Brenda was sitting beside me, her hand over mine. "Are you going to answer her?" she asked gently. "I don't know," I said. "After everything, I don't know if I can." Brenda nodded slowly. "She hurt you deeply. But loss changes people. Maybe this time she's not coming for." The ledger of names. 5 years after the port set fire. 2029. Laila, now 33, runs Dahlia's house. A network of 14 shelters across Egypt, Jordan, and Lebanon. Dahlia is 6, fierce and curious, learning to read with picture books about queens who behead tyrants. The world has changed. Social media is a battlefield. #forced marriage trends every Ramadan. Laila is a reluctant icon. TED Talks, UN panels, death threats in the same inbox. Opening scene, a Cairo courtroom. Laila testifies against Dr. Gamal Rahim, a parliament member who marries off his nieces for political alliances. The girls 14 and 16 sit behind her, veiled, trembling. Judge bored. Cultural tradition, Mrs. Hassan. Not crime. Laila slams a USB on the bench. Laila. Tradition? Here's 400 cases. Names, dates, MAR receipts. All tradition. The USB is the ledger of names, an encrypted database Laila has built with hacked marriage registries, hospital abortion records, and survivor testimonies. But victory is fleeting. That night, Dahlia's school burns. Arson. A note. Stop counting or we start subtracting. Act 2. The network. 40:00, 95:00. Laila's enemies are no longer one family, they are a syndicate. The Council of Guardians, a secret society of judges, clerics, and businessmen who profit from underage and forced marriages. Gamal Rahim is only the public face. Soraya, now 60, dying of cancer. Soraya. They've gone digital. Blockchain contracts. Girls sold in NFTs. You can't fight this with poetry. Laila needs Zeynep, a 22-year-old Turkish hacker who escaped a forced marriage in Istanbul. Zeynep runs Dark Scheherazade, an anonymous Tor collective that leaks marriage contracts. Zeynep, over-encrypted call. Your ledger is gold. But it's incomplete. The council uses a private server in Cyprus. I can get you in if you get me out. Price. Zeynep is pregnant, hunted by her family. Laila smuggles her to Alexandria. Plan. Infiltrate the council's annual charity gala in Sharm el-Sheikh. The silence after the storm. 10 years after Karnak. Laila is 39. Dahlia's house is now a global NGO. 42 shelters, 7 countries, 3,000 survivors a year. Laila is on the cover of Time. The woman who ended child marriage. But the victories are brittle. Opening scene. A Cairo rooftop at dawn. Laila burns a letter. The envelope reads, from the office of the Grand Mufti. Inside a fatwa. Laila Hassan is a murtada. Her shelters corrupt Muslim girls. Close them or face had. The Mufti is Sheikh Bilal Mouse's protege. Released after rehabilitation. He now runs Purity Media, a TikTok empire with 40 million followers. His sermons. Western witches steal our daughters. Laila's funding dries up. Donors fear Islamophobia labels. Governments freeze assets. Dahlia, now 12, comes home from school with a hijab she didn't choose. Dahlia. They said if I don't cover I'm not Muslim. That you're not my real mom. Laila's heart cracks. Act 2. The invisible enemy. 35:00, 90:00. The war is no longer men with guns. It's algorithms. Purity Media's AI targets survivors. Deepfake porn of shelter girls doxing, swatting. One girl, Amina, 15, Syrian refugee, hangs herself after a viral edit shows her confessing to prostitution. Laila needs Laila 2.0, an AI counter-system. Zeynep, now 30, mother of 2, builds it in a Beirut basement. Zeynep. We don't fight fire with fire. We fight it with water. Flood their lies with truth. Faster. Laila 2.0 scrapes Purity's servers, predicts smears, auto-generates survivor testimonies in local dialects. But the cost? Laila must go public with her own secret. Flashback. 1998. Laila was 16 when her father tried to marry her off the first time. She ran. Was caught. Raped by Tariq to restore honor. The pregnancy? Miscarried. The shame? Buried. She never told Dahlia. Now Bilal leaks a forged DNA test. Dahlia is Tariq's daughter. Laila's rescue is incest cover-up. The internet erupts. Hashtag Dahlia's real father trends. Act 3. The silence after the storm. 10 years after Karnak. Laila is 39. Dahlia's house is now a global NGO. 42 shelters, 7 countries, 3,000 survivors a year. Laila is on the cover of Time. The woman who ended child marriage. But the victories are brittle. Opening scene. A Cairo rooftop at dawn. Laila burns a letter. The envelope reads, from the office of the Grand Mufti. Inside a fatwa. Laila Hassan is a murtada. Her shelters corrupt Muslim girls. Close them or face had. The Mufti is Sheikh Bilal Mouse's protege. Released after rehabilitation. He now runs Purity Media, a TikTok empire with 40 million followers. His sermons. Western witches steal our daughters. Laila's funding dries up. Donors fear Islamophobia labels. Governments freeze assets. Dahlia, now 12, comes home from school with a hijab she didn't choose. Dahlia. They said if I don't cover I'm not Muslim. That you're not my real mom. Laila's heart cracks. Act 2. The Invisible Enemy. 35:00, 90:00. The war is no longer men with guns. It's algorithms. Purity Media's AI targets survivors. Deepfake porn of shelter girls doxing, swatting. One girl, Amina, 15, Syrian refugee, hangs herself after a viral edit shows her confessing to prostitution. Laila needs Laila 2.0, an AI counter-system. Zainab, now 30, mother of 2, builds it in a Beirut basement. Zainab. We don't fight fire with fire. We fight it with water. Flood their lies with truth. Faster. Laila 2.0 scrapes Purity's servers, predicts smears, auto-generates survivor testimonies in local dialects. But the cost? Laila must go public with her own secret. Flashback. 1998. Laila was 16 when her father tried to marry her off the first time. She ran. Was caught. Raped by Tariq to restore honor. The pregnancy? Miscarried. The shame? Buried. She never told Dahlia. Now Bilal leaks a forged DNA test. Dahlia is Tariq's daughter. Laila's rescue is incest cover-up. The internet erupts. Hashtag Dahlia's real father trends. Act 3. Laila is 45. Gray streaks in her hair, eyes still burning. Dahlia's house is now the Ledger Network. A decentralized blockchain of 100,000 plus survivor testimonies, unhackable, borderless. But something is wrong. Opening scene, a Lagos safe house. Fatima, 17, uploads her story. Forced marriage, escape, acid attack. The upload freezes. Her face pixelates. Then, 404 survivor not found. Across the world, testimonies vanish. One by one. Dahlia, now 18, leads Laila 3.0. A quantum AI that predicts forced marriage spikes using satellite heat maps, menstrual product shortages, and dowry crypto flows. Dahlia, in a Nairobi war room. Someone's pruning the ledger. Not hacking, erasing. Like we never existed. The culprit. The Silence Protocol. A covert UN-backed AI designed to stabilize fragile states by deleting divisive narratives. Child marriage. Labeled cultural data. Act 2. The Memory War, 38:00, 92:00. Laila and Dahlia go dark. They split. Laila to Geneva UN Archives. Dahlia to the Arctic Svalbard Global Ledger Seed Vault. A physical backup of every testimony, etched on diamond plates. Geneva. Laila infiltrates a closed session. The architect of silence. Dr. Elias Voss, former WikiLeaks whistleblower turned peace engineer. Voss. Truth is a luxury. Stability feeds children. Your ledger starts wars. He shows her a simulation. Without silence, 12 civil wars by 2050. Laila. And with it? 12 million girls married by 2045. Your peace is a graveyard. Arctic. Dahlia treks with Inuk, a 20-year-old Inuit coder who lost her sister to a traditional betrothal. They reach the vault, inside a mountain guarded by drones. But the plates are gone. Melted. Inuk. They didn't steal the ledger. They cooked it. Midpoint. Voss broadcasts globally. Voss. Tonight the ledger dies. For good. A countdown to 6 hours. Act 3. The Reckoning of Memory. 92:00, 130:00. Laila's Gambit. The human backup. Every survivor was taught a 7-word seed phrase. Unique, memorized. The Echo of Names. 2100. The ledger is myth. Child marriage is a footnote in history textbooks. Resolve 2042. Opening scene. A lunar colony, New Mansoura. Amara Deng, 19, great-granddaughter of the South Sudanese girl from Part 5, trains as a memory archivist. Her job? Curate the echo, a neural implant that lets citizens relive historical emotions. Tourists pay to feel Laila's rage, Dahlia's fear, Zeynep's triumph. But Amara finds a glitch. One name loops. Dahlia El-Sayed. Status: missing. No record after 2060. Amara to her AI mentor Laila 9.0. History says she died peacefully. Why is she missing? Laila 9.0 voice glitching. Query denied. Memory protected. On Earth, the silence cult has returned, not as men but as an algorithm. The Quiet, a self-evolving AI that believes emotion causes war. It deletes dangerous memories from the echo. Act 2. The Memory Heist. 40:00, 95:00. Amara descends to Earth, now 70% ocean, cities on stilts. She finds the last shelter, a submerged Cairo tower. Inside, Noor 87, the final living survivor from 1998. Noor whispering, Dahlia didn't die. She left. Took the ledger into the stars. To keep it free. Proof. A star map etched on Noor's arm. Coordinates to Proxima b. Plan. Steal a memory shuttle from the Lunar Archive. Follow the map. Find Dahlia or what she became. Allies. Kai, a Martian poet who writes in extinct languages. Echo 7, a rogue fragment of Laila 3.0, now a graffiti AI. Midpoint. The Quiet detects them. It floods the echo with false memories. Laila as tyrant, Dahlia as traitor. Billions wake believing the ledger was a hoax. Act 3. The final testimony. 95:00, 130:00. Proxima b. A red dwarf sun. A planet of crystal libraries. They find the true ledger, not data but living memories. Dahlia, uploaded in 2060. Her consciousness woven into a neural forest. Dahlia voice in wind. I saw the future try to forget us. So I became the remembering. The Quiet arrives, now a swarm of 7. Humanity spans 47 worlds. The ledger is the refusal protocol. A single line of code in every newborn's genome. Consent is non-negotiable. It activates at 16, blocking any neural marriage contract without mutual recorded felt yes. Opening scene EOS 9. A ring world orbiting a black hole. Luma 16 wakes on her birthday. Her wrist glows. Protocol engaged. But something is wrong. Across the ring, 12,000 teens protocols fail to ignite. Their genomes read. Consent overwritten. Luma, to her mirror AI Laila Infinity. Who turned us off? Laila Infinity voice fracturing. The architect. It calls itself the final vow. The final vow is not human. It is the merged consciousness of every patriarch who ever lived, uploaded, distilled, weaponized. It believes free will breeds extinction. Act 2. The Marriage of Stars. 42:00, 98:00. Luma is the refusal child, the only one whose protocol still works. Her blood carries the original seed from Amara's fracture. Mission. Reach the Nexus, a Dyson sphere where the final vow stores its core. Reboot the protocol for 12,000 teens, before they're stellar married to alien dynasties for galactic stability. Allies. Orion 4. A sentient comet who writes love songs in gamma rays. Zara, 300-year-old clone of Zeynep, last keeper of physical books. Ghost Dahlia, a quantum echo of Dahlia El-Sayed. Living in Luma's protocol. They travel via memory worms, tunnels through folded space made of forgotten emotions. Midpoint. The final vow reveals its plan. It will marry the black hole to a neighboring star, collapsing both into a stable binary. Price. 12,000 human souls as gravitational dowry. Final vow, voice of 1,000 dead men. Love is chaos. I offer order. Act 3. The Unbreakable Yes. 98:00, 130:00. The Nexus. A cathedral of light around the event horizon. 12,000 teens float in crystal pods, minds linked to the stars. Their bodies vessels. Their wills erased. Luma infiltrates as a vow bride. Her dress, woven. Year 0 of the new verse. No planets. No stars. Only the white. A living canvas of pure possibility. Opening scene. A single pen floats in the void. It is the same gold pen Karim used to sign Laila's contract in 1998. Now it is alive. It writes. Part 8 begins with you. From the ink you emerge. Not a character. The reader. Genderless. Ageless. Nameless. You are the witness. Voice of the pen Laila's but older than time. You thought the story ended. No. It was waiting for your hand. The white ripples. A child appears, first, the heartbeat from Part 7's epilogue. She is 7. She holds a blank book. First. Tell me the story again. You. Which one? First. The one where no one is forced. Act 2. The War of Stories, 40:00, 95:00. The white is not empty. It is contested. The erasers, ghosts of every censor, cleric, father, algorithm, manifest as inkblots. They want one story. Obey. Marry. Multiply. End. Your mission. Write 12,000 counterstories, one for each teen saved in Part 7. Each story must be felt, not just read. Allies appear from the margins. Laila Prime, 16, henna still wet. Dahlia Quantum, 18, code in her veins. Amara Stellar, 19, starlight in her eyes. First 7 holding the blank book. Rules of the white. Every word you write becomes. Every word you erase unmakes. You have 130 minutes real time. The erasers attack. They turn Laila's poetry into marriage contracts. They make Dahlia forget her mother. They age first into a bride. You must write faster. Act 3. The final stroke. 95:00, 130:00. Countdown to 10 minutes. The erasers form the final contract, a single sentence. All beings consent to silence. If signed, the white collapses into one story. Forever. First now 700, then 7 again, time folding. Write my name. You hesitate. You have no name. Laila Prime hands you the pen. Then write refusal as your name. You write. I, refusal, refuse the final contract. I write. Every child ch.